Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Becky at Whimsy Creations and I hope you're all well. Thank you for popping back, or hello if you're new here. I meant to start this a few minutes ago, but my camera took ages to set up today. Anyway, I hope you're well, and if you're not, I hope just listening or watching brings you some peace and calm and clears your head. As you can probably see from the title, I'm sorry, trying to get this to, that's it, light. I thought I might do one of these prompts that Margaret from Seven Plaza and Tony from Crafty by Tony have started up. I think they're the two people that have started it up. I was watching Margaret's last night, and it was fascinating to watch. Loads of people have done things with envelopes, but she jogged my memory in realising I had an awful lot of envelopes to use up. So I did a bit of rummaging through my envelopes this morning and found a few and tried various different things. Didn't think I'd bore you with all that. So I put a few together, but you're not going to miss anything by me doing that, because everybody's envelopes are different sizes, different shapes. So what I have won't be what you have, but hopefully, let's move that bit of cable out of the way. Hopefully you can possibly do a similar sort of thing, or you can just watch if you want. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think here, thereabouts anyway. And I've made it so it can go straight in a signature. You know, this is where I would sew it if I was going to sew it, when I sew it in, or if I put it in between two papers. Anyway, so I've made it roughly the size of a get your words out, woman, of a journal page for the UK. I know they're a bit smaller in America. I've got that one a bit higher, but that doesn't bother me at all. I've inked them all, which you'll be pleased about. You haven't got it took me quite a while to ink them all, so I'm glad you didn't have to sit and watch that. And I've glued them where I want them, because I knew if I didn't, knowing me, I'd probably forget where they were supposed to go. So I've done that bit too. So I'll show you how it works, and we'll go from there if you like. This one I coffee dyed. So this is everything I'm using today are scraps, pretty much, which is what the whole thing of Scraptember is all about. And there's prompts, I think there's 26 prompts, something like that. And the first one happens to be envelopes, which is the one Margaret did. And I thought, let's do envelopes. So this one I coffee dyed a long time ago. It's just been in my scrap box because it was a bit chewed up. I thought, let's use it. And so that one flops down, that one flops out. This is an old birthday card envelope. These ones I did buy a long time ago, ages ago, and they are little money envelopes. I actually probably had them left over from my boys had dinner money. I'm not sure, but they are. I've had them a long time ago, but I purchased them when they were at school, so that shows how old they are. These, I'm not sure where the brown ones came from, but you don't need the history of all of them. Another card one, and also quite a lot of these unusual shapes I've been given. So that one flaps that way, that one flaps that way, and that one's there, that one goes down, that one flaps that way, and that's got a pocket, loads and loads of pockets. And I might be adding some more pockets as well. And then when you go to close it, there's one more here. So we're going to cover these. I've inked really well. I've done what I call deep inking, where I've gone right in a bit. So if the paper I put on doesn't cover completely, it doesn't matter. And I've also decided, so it's easy to see where the edge of the pockets are, instead of sticking paper in, which I know a lot of people do, which I've done many times in the past, I decided to go that way, stencil inside all of mine. So wherever there is a pocket where you can put something in and out, there's a bit of stenciling. That just makes it easier for you to see where to put, or someone to see where to put the item they've taken out, where it goes back. And a lot of these that are overdone like this, I shall cover up. Now, I wanted to keep it fairly neutral because I want to decorate it or embellish it. And if it's too bright and florally and everything, that would be difficult to embellish. So I'm going to keep it all fairly calm, fairly tame. I think there's a possibility it might end up in my Fairy Pets journal, but I'm not actually at this moment in time putting any of that kind of stuff on it. I've got out a few bits and bobs that I might add. I've got these generic pockets, so I might put a few of these. I think these are left over from that kit I did ages ago. Well, not ages ago, a few videos ago I finished it. So I might put one or two of them, because again, they're quite neutral. I know that isn't, I've got a reason for having that out. And I found this library card this library pocket, which I thought was quite nice, although it's very bright red. So I don't know if I'll use that. But obviously at some point I've stamped dates on it. I want to make some diddy envelopes. So I thought rather than get my cutter out and measuring, I just use this as a template. Because I want to put some diddy envelopes in places. Might make a few slightly bigger than that as well. So I've also this time got a hot drink and some cough drops. So hopefully the frog that I always get may not appear this time. That's the general hope anyway. I thought it was just when I was videoing, but I've discovered that if I ever talk for any length of time, my throat goes a bit croaky, which is a bit of a pain. So I always have coffee on anyway, but this I hope it's not reflecting. That was there to stop my paper curling because I've got clean paper down. It's full of my neutral scraps. I've got one full of floral scraps, or brightly coloured scraps, should I say, and one full of beigey, creamy, you know, dull. Not dull as in horrible dull, but you know what I'm talking about. This is actually the insert from that book so as I said, I want to keep some of these, but I thought I'd pop it in here because it's where I'd keep something like that. And lots of things. So we're going to cover these. I'm going to move my journal and push it over a bit. I know you probably can't see it all that well, but you'll see the end result. I've got my glue book here. My glue book's with me. And I've got this one. I will have my tacky glue out in case some bits don't stick. And I might use some washi tape as well here and there. I know Margaret did, and it's quite effective, and it's good if little bits aren't sticking and things. So let's get cracking. I hope you've had a nice week. I've had a very busy and quite tiring week, I have to admit, but it's all good fun. It's all good fun. Let's find a bit that'll go on here. I'm not carding with lots of little bits. This has got some colour on it, but I don't mind a little bit here and there. Well, that'll go on there to there. We will be doing some tearing here and there. I'm not sure. I don't. You may not be able to tell on camera, but there's a little edging around this, which I'm not keen on because I'm not going to be using it all. So I would normally tear that off, but it's so tiny I don't think I'll be able to tear it. I do have a deckled edge cutter, which might actually be better, but we'll use it. I'm doing it with my scissors now. So just take that edge off, even though I've marked it with my scissors, and we'll get cracking. I don't know how many of you have been following the Scraptember. I've watched quite a few of them. I know there's a right and a wrong way with this, but I don't really want to do a right or wrong. Let's put it here. This piece of paper is a digi-bit from Rachel from Roxy Creations. And I'll try and link a channel. I'm going to start trying to link channels. I think I can put it in the description. So that's what I'll do. I've got my jagged ruler out to make it look even more scrappy. Put that back in there. But I'm not inking the bits of paper individually because I'm putting them on pre-inked stuff. I think we'd be here forever if I inked all the bits of paper as well. Yep. So that's Margaret from Seven Plaza I'm going to try and link, and Tony from Crafting with Tony, Rachel from Roxy Creations. I'm trying to write these down so I remember to link them all. I hope I get it right anyway. I can but try. There's a bit stripped down there, and this is where washi tape comes in useful. And I don't know if I've got one thick enough. Well, I've got plenty, but whether I've got one thick enough that's a neutral enough, you know. There's this one. I've got all my washi tapes are in these things. Well, this has animals on, but I don't think that'll matter. Let's try this one. Well, there's nothing wrong with having a little deer poking out there, is it? Right, I'm going to put some more glue on that because it's not very sticky. Well, washi tape's only supposed to be temporary anyway. So by putting some glue on, it makes it a little bit more, gives it a little bit more longevity. Turn that over there. Open you out so I can get to the back of you. There we go. That's that front of that one done. And the other thing Margaret did was she embellished, what should I say, not embellished, she covered hers when they were still apart. I'm doing mine already. I've already stuck mine together. On a piece here. And everybody does things in a different format, so you know, that's the right size. Just see if I've got a different, that'll do, won't it? We're not going to be particular today. I'm going to try not to be really finicky in particular. I'm just going to pop that in there so I can actually cut around it. I'm trying to just go with the flow and use what I pick up without too much humming and hurrying. That comes with the embellishing. For now, I just want to get them covered. Like I say, it doesn't matter if anything doesn't go up to the edge because I've got them all. We'll put that back in the scraps. Good thing about using scraps is you can, the leftover bits you cut off, you can put straight back in the scrap box, which is very useful. Turn you over. Go you. So this isn't something new. We've been doing this, you know, people have been making flippy flappies with envelopes for a long time. It's a while since I've done this quantity of flippy flappies in one go, but as I say, I wanted to use quite a lot of envelopes up. Excuse me, see, it's here already, look. I am off to see the asthma nurse next month because I am fed up of the older lungs not working as well as they might. So anybody who has asthma knows what I'm talking about. That's that one done. Let's do this white one. Get something less obvious on here. No, well, we could use that. We might have to use two pieces in places. Got anything bigger? There's this. This is big. This will do nicely. Let's mark this. Mark it there. And mark it there. Yeah, it does impinge on your life a little bit. I'm trying to see my mark here. There we are. There it is. I've got hundreds of these. Well, not hundreds, that's a huge exaggeration. I've got a lot of these, and a lot of them are doubled up. So I'm just going to put ink on there because you can see all those little white bits from where you can see the white core. That's when I will ink, when you can see the white core. Because it's a slightly thicker piece of paper. Pop you there. I think it's got writing on. Should we get the writing the right way up? Not that I can read a word of it. Nope, I can't. So let's turn that page over. Turned a bit chillier, and that's where slightly more chilly over here in the UK now. The beautiful sun we had, summer had, is dissipating now. It's moving on. Ooh, that bit might fit. Nope, that's too small. I'd like to try and do them as few pieces as possible, you know. If we can, that will fit. It's quite big. Let's use a smaller piece. Too big, too small. Like the three bears, yeah? Oh, that fits nicely. Again, this is another piece of Roxy Creations digitals. Don't ask me which ones. She can tell you probably, but I can't. Get that straight. The lovely thing about using digitals with scraps, you can just, if you want it, you can, whoops, you can just print it out again, can't you? So, which is always good. Is that make it a true scrap? I don't know, but it was in my scrap pile, so I'm using it as one. Oops, I didn't cut the bit out, did I? Let's stick you over there. We'll stick you on the bit of glass, and we'll use you later on a bigger one. Well, actually, let's just stick you on a different one. That needs to go on the front of one. I need to cut the V out for this one. I don't think it's going to fit any of them. So I'll have to do it for one that I'm... Oh, hang on a minute. Let's do you at the bottom here. You can go around the corner. And that can fold over, you see. There. Let's not waste it. Let's go back to this bit and remember I need to cut this piece out, so... There we go. That'll fit there. As I say, I'm not worried about them going up to the edge because I've inked them well. And I don't need to hide the fact that they are envelopes. You know, it's obvious. There we go. That's how I do mine anyway. I don't know how... I didn't want to go through all the trouble of fitting bits in. Glue goes everywhere. Ooh, drives me up the wall. So I cheat and I stencil. Well, that's cheating. It's just a different way of doing it, isn't it? Yep, like that. Glue this. So have any of you done the Scraptember? I noticed Tony's got one up for buttons. I've got hundreds of buttons, so I didn't really want to make any. So I thought I'd do the envelope one instead. That's that one, and that one. Liking that. Let's do this big one here. Now that will... Ooh. This is another one of Rachel's. I don't know if there is actually, but it could be anybody's, this. I'm not sure if I want that. Don't ask me why, I haven't a clue. Oh, this piece is the bit I use for all my inking. I thought, well, why not use it as a... Oh, got a big piece of music paper here. That I could cut down, couldn't I? Look, taking loads out. Look, I've got an old Singer booklet here. This was from a very old sewing machine I used to have. There we go. We can do this one. There, it's a bit lemony, but it's still not a really bright colour, is it? I'm not actually going for vintage. I'm just going for neutral, really. I know Margareth's, that's how we pronounce her name anyway. Hers was quite very vintage-y. Is that a word? I don't have a lot of vintage paper, I must admit. I've got some, which I ordered from Rachel, which I hoard and keep to myself. I do occasionally, I think I've got some photocopied bits in here that I've copied for a project and then didn't get around to using. I tend to keep the originals as actual book pages rather than as using in scraps. Oh, how weird. That's got a slice through it. Never mind. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to put the actual ephemera in this today. I'm just going to hopefully get them covered. I did check the time before I started, so I'm hopefully going to get them covered and then do a little bit of embellishing. That goes there, that goes there. 1, 2, 3. I like that. Turn it over. Right. Let's do this little one. Let's do this little one. I've got a lot more small bits of paper than I have big. Haha. This is an old Purcell advert. Oh wow, it fits there too. So if we had that, oh, I might use this. How about that? An old Purcell advert stuck on there. That's quite cute, isn't it? Oh, and please, Santa Claus, some Purcell like Jane's mummy has. Ah, gosh, that's an old advert, isn't it? Right, let's glue you on. I think Purcell was one of the originals, you know. That's nice. And then we want something on there. This envelope I'm going to be doing slightly differently. Here's my glue page. I'm not going to have stuff tucking up here. I'm going to glue that closed and have this as my pocket. So I must remember to do that, but I can put a piece of paper up to here and cut that open. Might do that now before I forget. So let's cut you open. That sounded horrible, didn't it? Let's cut you open. There we go. Whoa, all going everywhere. Ugh. Hang on, I've got all twisted. There we go. That's better. Get you popped under there. Let's get some proper glue on the top here. I'm going to stick you down. So we close that up because I wanted it to open at the side and I hadn't got any diddy ones that opened at the side. So this opens this way, so let's have that facing down, shall we? This may not be wide enough. Let's have a look. Oops. No, not quite. Oh, what's this? This is good. I think once I've taken, I don't know, let's take those edges off. I can't take tiny bits off with my ruler. It won't work. I'm fairly certain this is a Roxy Creations piece of, from, you know, you can download them and they have lots of different bits of ephemera on one sheet of paper. It's one of those. They're a little bit wide, so let's cut a bit more off. We need to cut you there, and we need to cut you there. We'll do the bottom one with this. If I can find the mark I just put on. Okay, can you see it? I can't. Let's mark it again, shall we? Oh, there it is. You see it when you put it back. There it is. It's there. I'm not sure I'll be able to get this tiny piece off though. We'll give it a go. Oh, look at that, it worked. Put those bits back. Oh, yes, I like that. I'm still using the same book as my glue page, my glue book, to glue on. That's nice, like that. On here next, nice big piece. If I can find a nice big piece. That's a rummage. A nice big book page here. The red dragon. I wonder if this. Just have to double check. There's no nasties on here. I mean, it's more swear words I don't like to have on. No, I don't think there's anything like that. So if we cut that bit off, let's tear this bit off. This is useful because this one has a straight bit here, so that's convenient. Take some of the bottom off. Keep these bits, they're good for stamping on. I think we must all do that. A little bit off the top. Let's just mark where I've got to take that off the top. Because knowing me, I'll forget. Hope you can see all right. I do tend to pull it towards me because I have my chair really high. Under my desk is a footstool, that little actually it's a little kid's stool because I'm so short. My feet don't touch the ground, so I have this tendency to pull work towards me, you know, so I can see better. I have to remember to keep it further up so the camera can see it rather than, and you can see it rather than me. The red dragon. Well, that'll look nice, especially once we've embellished it. So, put that on. Don't ask me what book it is, but it's lovely paper. This side is slightly darker, so I'm going to use that side instead. Doesn't make any difference. It's rectangle. Here we go. I got something down there. Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Oops, you go down that way. Lovely. Let's do this one. This is a really big one. Now I'm wondering if we should do one piece or two. I have got some big book pages in here. They're from a really old book. They're the same size. Hope I'm not rocking the table too much. Look at that. It's got a picture on it as well. Really old picture, look. One of the old cars. I don't think having them on there. This is a book to do with Yorkshire. It's a book about Yorkshire. A friend gave it to me. Isn't that amazing? That looks like it was made to measure. Look, I'm just going to glue that on there in one fell swoop. Gone quiet. Gluing. Friend popped round on Tuesday. Debbie, her name is. She's a lovely lady. She does my ironing, isn't she, sweetheart? Yeah. She says she likes to likes the fact that I start my videos off with lighting incense, and never really thought about it before, but I light incense before I do a lot of things. It's just, maybe it's from living with dogs for so long and horses. Get rid of the smell. I don't know, but yeah, I find it calming. Some people I know it gives them bad headaches and things, but excuse me, I like it. And as you can't smell it anyway, it doesn't really affect you too much. Well, that's that. Just checking. Right, so we're in here next. Now this one does need that bit cutting out of it, so I'm not going to use the same bit, although it would be very convenient because it would slide in. But wow, that's a lovely picture of a ship here. Look at that. Well, that's nice, isn't it? You only get half of it though, but I still think it's a nice. Let's get you right in, shall we? Yep, that's pretty much right up to the edge, that is. Oh, there we go, it's in further. I'm going to lose a little bit of it, but not much. Didn't know I had that in there. I think it was the same lady that gave me this book, actually. I think it was Debbie. She brought over a few books one day when I first started journaling. They've been absolutely invaluable. One was full of newspaper sort of articles from during the war. It was quite interesting. perfect, but it'll do. Might use that one again. Diddy. Yeah, there's a lot of, well, there's a lot of history in a lot of England, isn't there? United Kingdom, it's a very old island. So, yeah. There's a local lady who's an author. I mean, you can get her books everywhere, you know, called Val Wood, and she writes about really, a lot of her stories are really old, like based in the 17, 1800s, 1900s, and they're fiction, you know. But the historical facts about Hull, some of them are, you know, spot on. She does a bit of research. Some are not quite right, obviously, but yeah. So it's an interesting way to find out about somewhere near where you live. I mean, I don't live in Hull, but I live close by. And I think sometimes the poor place gets a bit of a bad rep, but it's got some fabulous history in the old town. It really has. It's the old town part where I tend to go anyway. With the cobbled streets and that, and people, you know, when they think of Hull, they never think of old buildings and cobbled streets, you know. Oh, I did that bit because it was wrong, didn't I? Yes, so we need a bit on the top. Yeah, a bit of trivia for you there. What about you? Yep, you go on there. It's actually upside down. I think I might cut it off because I do like this piece. Well, let's have a little bit of giveaway, shall we? Anyway. There we are. Yeah. Yeah, when people think of coal streets and old architecture, they tend to think of York, you know. But yeah, Hull has plenty going for it. I mean, like all cities throughout the entire country, there's going to be rough patches, you know, but there is in any country, any city, in pretty much anywhere you go. There's homelessness, sadly, and you know, poorer areas. That's the way of life, isn't it? Right, that's that one. Let's get on something a little lighter, shall we? Getting a bit heavy. Doesn't matter which way I go, really. Let's do this piece. And my scrap box is filling up with even smaller scraps now, which is not a good idea. The idea is to use your scraps. But hey, I love scraps. Now that's two. Let me have a rummage here. That's a nice piece. A bit small, but we could put a bit at the top, couldn't we? That's another one of Rachel. I've got a few of Rachel's in here. I must have cut out the floral bits and used them for something and have these left. But can use them forever because you can print them out again. Right, I'm going to pop that in there. And we're going to cut off all the good bits, so I'm going to turn it around the other way. We've got the nice bits. We're getting the nice bits. But I won't throw that away, you see, I'll reuse it, so on another collage. The small bits I can use for collaging. I think I've got some crinkly scissors as well somewhere, so I could make these edges slightly crinkly, but you know, I'm not going for perfection for this at all. Well, I actually go for perfection for anything. Then I go in my remit perfection, I'm afraid. That's nice, but I can see my pencil marker. I don't like that. There. So thank you for those people that have been viewing. I checked it the other day, and I've gotten a few views, which is nice. A lot of people have viewed and not liked, but fair enough. Maybe they didn't like the content. That is fair enough. Not everybody likes the same stuff. Can I use the same bit up there? I can. That's good. But yeah, we're getting there slowly. Can't expect for it to all happen overnight. You know, I'm not going to stop putting them out, not for the foreseeable future, that's for certain. And just hope that, you know, word gets around. I am going to email a couple of people, one person in particular, to find out more about what I can do with my page to make it a little more easier accessible. I know for one thing, well, you're here so you know this, but it's all one word, and that was a mistake. It shouldn't have gone in as all one word, and I don't know how to change it or correct it. So Wednesday Creations is now all one word. My son and I set it up, so it's something I've done or he's done. I don't know. It's not important how it happened. It just has. So, actually, I really like that there. I wasn't sure if that would work, but it has. Yeah, really like that. I think that's one of my favourite bits. Anyway, let's get going. So, yeah, I'm just going to carry on persevering. Oh, that's a bit boring. I got a piece down here with the earth. Look at that stencily bit. I love this. Oh, it's not quite wide enough, but we could put it on and then put some washi on, couldn't we? Or another strip of paper. Yeah, I'm going to put that on because I love this stuff. It's coffee dyed. I bought it. I don't know who from at the moment. It's a digital, and she's coffee dyed through doily. It's beautiful, and the whole pages are really gorgeous. I wish I could remember who it was. If you know who you are, just pop it in the comments, and you can say, "Oh, they're mine." That's fine. There we are. I'm just going to put a strip down there. Oh, they just go that way. Yeah. Put that bit there. Or, oh, I've got a long piece of book page here, look. Oh, look at that. I prefer that. Let's put that on. I'm a bit late in the Scraptember to do, I don't think I'll get all the, or even half the prompts done, but I'll pop back on one of those two channels and see what else there is. I might do another one. There's a little bit there, a little bit there. Out comes the washi. My bit, no, it's not too small. Pop you on there. There you go. So that's that bit, that bit. That actually doesn't look like it's been covered, but it has with book page. Right, we've got these two here now, that one and this one. Big pieces. It goes very quickly when you use big pieces, doesn't it? All right. I like that. It's not going to fit in like this, but I'm going to cut it down. Oh, I've just spotted a bit I haven't inked. I thought I managed to catch all of it. Let me just tear this off and I'll ink that piece before I stick this on. So let's tear that across there. And I'll put that in there. Look, I haven't inked this bit. There we go. Inked now. Let's pop you in here, little fella. Will you fit in? I cut you too long. You're a little bit too long, aren't you? Take a bit more off then. Let's see if I can get this. I didn't think I'd get that slither off. I'm actually not going to keep that slither. Right, let's put you in here. On you go. That's right up to the edge. Oh, well, I'll use this somewhere else. It's a nice piece of paper. Oops. Yeah, this is the right way out. I have quite a few bits that shape in my floral one. There we are. Let's rub off the pencil. Let's put that in there. Oop. There we go. How come that bit? Oh, I haven't done that bit. Oh, sorry, because I've carried on across here, haven't I? That's all right. I'll go back to that bit. Right, that's that one done. Now I've got something similar here, which is a piece of typewritten. We don't really want them together. The exact backing's the same colour, isn't it? So let's not use you. Have I got any other bigger bits here? See what we've got here. That's nice. Might have to use two pieces, I think. I don't have any very large bits, obviously. I'm not coating it with lots of small pieces, though. Won't be a sec, just browsing. I'm going to bring it forward so you can see what I'm doing here. And I can see better then as well. What have we got? We have got this piece, haven't we, which I've put back before. That will pretty much cut this white bit off the bottom here. Might make it a tiny bit small, but not very. There, that'll fit in nicely. Let's use this then. Whoops. Yes, I can't even follow a line. There we go. Right outside my house at the moment is closed. I don't know, halfway up they're doing some work. And you can get to both ends of this road through different roads, so you don't actually have to come down it. But what has made it nice, it's incredibly quiet. Quite any traffic. It's lovely. I mean, this is a small village I live in, but man, there's this road quite busy. People use it as a bit of a rat run, I think, to get somewhere else in the village, you know. If they're coming down, because it's on a hill, it's just straight down and it's easy to do, I guess. So, I don't know. It's a link to what's called Swanland Dale, which is a road at the very top of the village. And yeah, it can get quite... We've also got a couple of lads. I call them lads. I'm assuming they're male. They could be female. I could be doing injustice. Who've got like zooped up cars. I think actually, I'm not sure that they're actually... I'm fairly safe in saying they're not listening or watching this. And I think they just make more noise. I don't think they actually really go that much faster. But the thing is, they sound horrendous when they come down the road. I mean, they're young lads. I don't suppose they'll live here all their lives, you know. But, yeah, it shows I'm getting old that I don't like I mean, my eldest son still loves the sound of his car, you know, being a bit of a petrol head that he is. Right then. Oh, I hope I've not been moaning too much. Just realised I quite like this. This is coming along. It's coming along. Still taking a bit of time though, isn't it? You have a few swigs of my coffee. All right. Oh, that's nice and fits well. Let's pop you in here. It's going to be a very quiet video, this, isn't it? Never mind. It's nice to have a quiet one, isn't it? Well, it is, if you want it or not, really. Anyway, guys. Yep. Instead of tearing the pages out, which I know makes quite a bit of noise, I've just been turning the pages over and letting them dry, and then I'll turn it back the other way. It's less noisy. So we're having a quiet, calm video. You don't want me hearing me, you know, yanking out pages all the time. Now this has to go a certain place, there and there. Doesn't quite fit there, but it doesn't matter. Put a bit of washi on. Let's put a bit of view on. Any green. I quite like this one here. I like the look of this one. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Get some glue on, extra glue on there. Oh, it's a tiny bit of colour, but it's sort of in keeping with it all, isn't it? Put you on there. And I'm going to just tuck it under, like that. And I'm going to trim that one off. Trim it off without cutting the envelope, with a bit of luck. There, that's it. This fella. It's not quite big. Oh, like 5 on there. It's not quite big enough for that. I don't think you are either, are you? I could put 2 bits on, couldn't I? That's what I might do. To use something a bit different, so. Pop you here. I don't think it matters that we're going to have. We've got more than one piece on some of them, so I don't think it matters too much. I just didn't want to sit and collage it all with little bits. You know, that's not the whole point of it. Is to get it covered, really, not so I can embellish it. You know, just covering up the envelopes. Really, that's all we're doing. I spent a bit of time inking the edges because I wanted to see them. Now that won't fit on. I have got another piece of that though that I might be able to put down that side if I can find it. That's a nice grungy piece. I might have, I might not. It doesn't matter, I could put a nice coffee dyed bit there. I've got some coffee dyed pieces here, look. That's a nice piece of coffee dyed paper there. Yes, let's. I coffee dyed my paper great chunks at, you know, loads at a time. It lasts for a while then. I just do it in the kitchen with some cheap instant coffee and a paintbrush sort of thing. What am I doing? I'm gluing it, that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I just spread it. I can do about 4 or 5 at a time, maybe 6, and then I leave them to dry. I just have it sort of going as a bit like a conveyor belt, and each time I go in, if they're dry, I'll do a few more. And if, you know, I don't sort of stand and just do loads one after the other. It's lucky because I can sort of, I have one half of my kitchen that's always used for food prep and that kind of thing, and then I have one half which is used more for general household stuff, like I've got my printer on one half and things like that, and so that's the half I would use to do the coffee dine on. We've got that piece somewhere. Let's do it. I've got some more of them. See if I can find another. Oh, I found something else. Might use that somewhere. Sorry, that tinkling noise is actually my bracelet against. I've only got to go to there. So, actually, what I might do, I'll cut it down there to start with. My son's popping in. My youngest is popping in the weekend because he's off to the city to get his wedding suit fitted, and he said he'd pop in. And why was I telling you that? Oh yeah, he bought me a tripod a long time ago when I first started journaling, because I thought I'd do this, and then I didn't really have the courage to get on and do it. And I didn't get on with it at the time, with the type of phone I had. I think I had a very, very big phone, and it just wouldn't, things weren't working the way I wanted them to, let's put it that way. So, but his is a really good quality one. The one I'm using at the moment is just quite a cheap and cheerful thing, which is held in place by a one of those wheat sacks that you warm up. You've got sores and things, and that helps, because it's so lightweight that if I put my phone in, it just falls over. So it counterweights the weight of my phone, which is great. But it does take up quite a bit of room, one end, whereas the one my son bought me is a lot smaller. So I'm going to see if the two of us can get that set up and see if it works any better. See, that's what I thought I might do. So if I didn't cut that very well, did I? I might need to trim them a little bit. Yeah, we shall see. It's nice just to see him anyway. I love it when he calls in. My other son can't just call in because he lives the other side of the country, sadly. I live on the East Coast, and he lives on the West Coast. Not that the United Kingdom is very far, very big, so it only takes me 2 hours to go and see him. Can you imagine that? Just over 2 hours to get from one side of the country to the other. Yep, that's how tiny we are. I'm just going to ink down here because, I mean, it's almost in a straight line from his to mine, you know, it's just across. I don't expect to get to coast, it would probably take, actually, right from coast to coast, 3 hours, but even so. It just goes to show how little our little island is. There's just a lot of us, a lot of them, a lot of islands. It's not surprising people cycle around the entire country, is it really? Although you wouldn't get me doing that. 10 miles is my limit. And that's on a static bike. I don't do 10 anymore. I tend to do about 6 or 7 now, but I hope you can still see. What time is it? Well, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes before it's an hour. Now, do I go over the hour, or do I do another one? Might do another one. And then you can watch the other half at some other time, so you don't get too bored with just the same old stuff all the time. Fun bit will be embellishing it. Well, that's quite an interesting piece. It's got 2 holes in the top, look. I think I'll use it. Fits on there nicely. I didn't think I was working that slowly. Anyway, we'll see. At least try and get the try and get the covering done, and then I can always do a shorter video. She says my videos are never short. Shorter video on the embellishing, can't I? I don't think I've done just a single video. They've all been part 1s and 2s, but it's just the rabbiting I do, and the way I just don't craft very fast, and that is the aim of the program. Really, is the video really is, you know, it's not designed to be really fast crafting by any means. It's supposed to be slow and enjoyable, craft along, you know. It'll be a craft along hashtag Scraptember, I think. I'm going to ink this because you can see those, not there, here. See those white bits. Anyway, I think, is this my, oh, I've got another piece there. I thought this was my last piece. I'll pop that on there. With this all being quite so bland, it's going to make embellishing it great fun. You know, I had hoped to get embellishing done in this one, but I have covered about 10 or 11 envelopes, so, and I haven't made the small ones yet either. I'm sure you all know how to make little envelopes, so I might do that off camera and come back and we'll decorate it all. How about that? I like this faux stitching across the middle, that's fun. Last piece, last envelope, I believe, last envelope. Oh, I got this, look. That's a bit small, that's a shame, but would it go across here? No, it's the wrong shape. It's the wrong shape. Ooh, envelope on an envelope. And we could put that on there, and then we could put something down there, couldn't we? That fits so nicely. We'll do that. And we'll put this on here. I'm not sure whose this is. It could be Rachel's from Roxy Creations. Oh, the stamp's Italian. I can't tell. Too grungy. There we are. Oh, I had a lovely little bit of grunge. Not grunge. Nice piece here a minute ago. Not that piece. It was oh, here it is. Coffee dyed piece. There we are. I thought that was a nice little piece. Oops. Yeah, I coffee dye one side, go through the whole pile that I'm doing, and then once they're dry, I coffee dye the other side. And then it's not just the colour I like the texture and the feel of them when you've coffee dyed them, you know. They get nice and crinkly. I love that feeling of texture. I meant to tell you, I've got a lot of Florentine paper. Bought it from Germany. And it's beautiful. I've been hoarding it. And I got one down because it's fairly neutral as far as, because I don't know if you know about Florentine paper, can be very, very busy. So I got this one, which is fairly neutral, and I was going to use it for one. But I might use it. It's a bit late now. I've only got that one left. I could use a bit on there, couldn't I? But maybe I'll use it for a bit of decoration instead. So I'm going to keep that down and use that for embellishing, decorating. Instead now, because it's a bit late. I have got this piece that I used. You can see some of the writing underneath though, so that might be better kept as embellishments as well. Sorry, move it away from that. Oh, here we go. This bit might work. I'd have to put something else on those. I want something a bit squarer. I don't have to cut each of it out, but it's quite a big square. What did I do the other side? I did two pieces, yeah. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. think I'm going to have to do 2 pieces this time as well. I've got this. Oh, this is nice. That's not 2 pieces. I know I've got a piece of this, but there. Let's do that. Cut that there so we can get it in the envelope. Oops, my sheet's falling everywhere. I hope you can see all right. Oh, that's what I hoped wouldn't happen. That is the trouble when you're cutting off little pieces. There we go. That bit I'll throw away. Let's get that in there. I might reinforce some of these edges. I'll see. We'll see. Right, this is the last one now. And you'll have to let me know. I mean, I can run the video as long as I like. You know, we could do an hour and a half. I'm not sure if many of you want to watch one thing for an hour and a half. I just don't know. I mean, for me, I don't care how long one is. I watch it till the end. And sometimes I'll fall asleep and go back and watch the rest of it the next day, you know, the next evening. Like I tend to watch YouTube people, you guys out there, I tend to watch when I'm sitting with my feet up in the evening watching, instead of watching television for a few hours, I'll maybe watch a couple of programs that I'm following, and then I'll watch YouTube. And sometimes I'll nod off and stop it and then carry on the night before, you know, the next night. So as I say, length doesn't really bother me, because I'll just carry, you know, if somebody's video's long, like Margareth's was last night, that doesn't bother me at all. I've got a crease in there, but actually I'm going to ink it and make it part of it. Yeah. Hey ho, that's the last one. So let's go to the front and we'll go through. Then I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to check everything's set up. And it's nearly 3 o'clock. And I'll probably come back and do the embellishing. I'm not sure if that'll be today, but it won't be this video. I've decided I'm going to let you go. So thank you so much for coming. We're going to just go through here. This pocket there. Yeah, just showing you how it goes. I like this different layers, you know. That little one. This, I'm going to put another envelope here because I want a bit more layering there. And here, this definitely needs something on it, like another pocket or something. Needs to go there. And same here. I want either a belly band or another pocket there. That one's nice. I like that. You've got a pocket here. And again, probably put a pocket on there. Pocket here. That's nice. Might put one on there. Pocket here. Definitely have to put one on there because that's just a piece of paper at the moment. And then we open it this way. We've got one there. Got that one there. That one there. That one there. It seemed an awful lot, didn't it? That one down there when I was going through them. And then that one there. It did seem a lot more though when I was covering them. It seemed to take a lot more. But as I say, I'm going to add some more to it. So once I've done that and put this lot away, I'll come back to you and we will embellish it all, okay? So take care, and I'll see you soon. And yeah, look after yourselves. Take care now. Bye.